Hi, I'm Steve Priest, currently president of Integrity Insight International, the second ethics consulting firm that I founded. The first one, Ethical Leadership Group, way back in 1993. And this one, I don't know, 5, 6, 7 years ago, which is meaningless for you depending on when you watch this, so 2015 or so. So the first one I've talked about, good ethics is good business. That was from my dad. The second one I've implied, but I learned really early on, right after the sentencing guidelines, which is you can't achieve compliance, even compliance if that's your goal, without an ethical foundation. The third one, culture wins. This was 1995 when I came up with Culture Wins. And one of the stories that just brings that together is a company we've done a lot of work with, surveys, focus groups. In focus groups, I love doing focus groups based on words and actions, based on management's words and actions. What's really important around here? What does it take? What do they really care about? And in this company, first priority, make plan. Second priority, make plan. Third priority, make plan. There is no other priority. So I was selected to deliver that message to the CEO along with a little personal coaching, which was Steve. Steve was the CEO. You know, this is what I hear, make plan, make plan, make plan. And unfortunately, often they talk about you. What? They say, all you ever talk about is make plan. You don't talk about doing it the right way, doing it consistent with our values. Well, that's just assumed. Everybody knows it doesn't count as making plan if you cheat to make plan. I said, well, you know what? How about not every time you talk about making plan, but once every 3 times you talk about making plan, add something like that. You know, it doesn't count if you're cheating. It doesn't count if you're not living up to our values. And he started to do it. And here's what happened. 2 things. One, so the CEO is talking like that. Then the SVPs start talking like that and trickles down. 1 year later, in follow-up focus groups, make plan was still the highest priority. But number 2 was usually something different. In manufacturing facilities, it was safety. In marketing, it was innovation. I mean, they were, in finance, it was integrity. They were getting it. Just that one subtle change changes the culture. And the last one is that I've been obsessing about it, probably because the most recent is based on our risk assessments and everything else, telling the truth is the biggest cultural, organizational risk. So no. I wish I could. But the critical words, overall work environment. I don't think so. We have seen so many companies where we did what we thought was excellent work with the company. And one of the things, you know, one of the challenges in ethics compliance, one of the challenges really in any kind of business improvement is how do you embed it into the business so that it lasts beyond the intervention? Otherwise, all you've got is the Hawthorne effect. I'm going to throw in an academic thing like that since probably mainly academics will look at this. All you've got is the Hawthorne effect. Oh, we paid attention, something changed. We do these focus groups and surveys, so we see progress based on what employees are telling us. We see progress based on things coming into helplines and reported incidents and stuff like that. And then time passes, or there's a regime change, or there's a merger or acquisition. And it is really hard to sustain it. So here's the picture. Hydroelectric plant in the mountain. It's the only employer in this small town. And there's probably 1,000 people in this town. And it's the employees and their families. And I get there and the plant foreman or plant manager or location manager says, all right, have you ever been to one of these before? Never. One of my favorite things, tours of where people actually do stuff. So I got a tour. And this tour, my gosh, it was like 45 minutes. He was so proud. He's this, show me that, show me that. And after a while, though, the little antenna goes up, and it's like, this is unusual. This is like more than hospitality. And what is really going on? And I found out when, of course, we get out of the pickup truck, and he, when we're standing there, and he comes over and said, what I really wanted to do on this is to thank you. Why? He said, because we've had this compliance and ethics stuff for a long time, but we also had our local head, his old boss, who was a tyrant, a bullier, a guy with a gun on his desk, a guy who threatened physical and professional job retaliation if people didn't do things exactly the way he wanted them. And so this guy said, they always talked about how we could report issues like this, but I never believed them until a team from the headquarters ethics office flew in here and announced this new program and this new ethics line that we could use, and talked about how it could be used without fear of retaliation. And so a few weeks later, I used it. And they came in and they did an investigation, and they suspended the guy, and then they fired the guy. It still gives me goosebumps. And they said, you have set us free. 1,000 people, employees and their families, living under the thumb of a tyrant. Now that's darn good stuff.